Hello, hello everybody. Today, listening Italian territory, cenni di economia industriale, notes on industrial economics. Studio delle industrie, cioè di insiemi di imprese. Study of industries, sets of companies, manifatturiere e di servizi, manufacturing enterprises and services. Si occupa di studiare il funzionamento dei mercati, the mechanism and processes by which markets operate. Mettere a fuoco le condizioni di contesto in cui operano. Context conditions. Le imprese, definire la struttura delle industrie. The enterprises. Studiare le interazioni tra le imprese. Natura della competizione. Nature of competition. Come i comportamenti influiscono sul contesto. Effetti dei comportamenti su efficienza ed equità. Efficiency and equity. Che cos'è l'economia industriale? È lo studio della competizione imperfetta in un contesto di interdipendenza. Imperfect competition. Come le imprese si comportano nei mercati in concorrenza imperfetta, che sono la maggior parte dei mercati, nella consapevolezza della loro interazione strategica. Awareness of the strategic interactions among competitors. Ampio ventaglio di possibilità. Wide range of possibilities. Oh, guys, in Italian we use ampio ventaglio because when you open the how to call in English the ventaglio is the Spanish ventilator, the handy ventilator. The ventaglio is spread wide, and thus we use the word ventaglio to say a wide range of possibilities. Duopolio, oppure una grande impresa che compete con molte altre più piccole. Duopoli, or a big enterprise competing with many other smaller. Prodotti potrebbero essere identici, ad esempio i cementi, e molto differenziati, cosmetici. L'entrata facile, ristoranti, the easy returns of a company for likely the restaurant, everyday money flow, o difficile like a car dealer, that you don't sell a car every day. Okay, depends. There are also dealers they sell every day, but it's not like a restaurant. Ampio ventaglio di decisioni, wide range of decisions, prezzo, price, prodotto, product, promozione del prodotto, promotion of the products, okay, the promos and all the marketing around. Analisi della concorrenza imperfetta e difficile, the imperfect competition again. Guys, this article is quite easy for the English speakers. So I mean to say, I just note some vocabulary, some word in English, okay? Just to, because the intent of this one is a technical translation, it's a business Italian, okay? So it's better to be precise how to identify that technical term in the industry, Italian versus English, okay? Quali strumenti utilizza? What instruments does it use? Costruzione di modelli sulla base della teoria dei giochi. The Game Theory Based Model Building, che consente di analizzare scenari in cui le imprese riconoscono l'interdipendenza. Ok? That allows to analyze the scenarios in which where the enterprises recognize discriminate the interdependence. Interazione strategica, strategic interaction. As you can see, a lot of words, as we already seen in the past videos, we may observe how many technical terms are very similar because of due to the common root, Latin or Greek root. So, for English speakers, it's not that difficult when it comes to scientific or technical terminology. Derivazione di proposizioni verificabili. Derivation of verificabili empiricamente. Derivation of empirically verifiable propositions. We have only to change the order of the words, but come on, it's easy, huh? That is an easy task here to translate, to understand what is written in Italian. Stime econometriche di relazioni predette dalla teoria. Econometric forecasts, ok? Of the theory. Ragioni per lo studio dell'organizzazione industriale. Industrial organization. Perché si studia l'organizzazione industriale? Why industrial organization is studied? Motivata principalmente da motivi di antitrust. Antitrust, guys, come on. Even in the North Pole, they know the birds what means antitrust. So it's useless to. That is an English word that now is well established in an Italian vocabulary. Norme in materia di antitrust, antitrust laws e evoluzione negli Stati Uniti, in Europa e in Italia. Se i risultati che si producono in mercati non concorrenziali, if the product results in not competitive markets, non si avvicinano, do not close, in mercati concorrenziali to those competitive ones, occorre chiedersi se e come la politica, we need to understand, to give answers, how to improve the market allocations. Pubblica se e come occorre chiedersi se e come la politica pubblica può migliorare le allocazioni di mercato. I have translated a bit differently because in English, come on, is different. You cannot translate literally here. Competitive occur needed to chiedersi, to wonder, to ask itself if and how the public policy may be able to improve the market allocation. Come on, it's ridiculous. Come on, really. Let's use the real English. So I translated, we need to understand how to improve the market allocations. Okay? And this is an example where I like English, comparing with this crazy articulated Italian. You know what I mean? Come on. Ma anche interesse nella ricerca di soluzioni private. But also interest in research for private solutions, non mediate da enti or istituzioni pubbliche. Do not interfered, in this case, by public institutions. alle inefficienze del mercato, to the market inefficiencies. Ragioni per lo studio dell'organizzazione industriale. Le norme antitrust e la teoria dell'organizzazione industriale. Bisogno di una normativa antitrust già riconosciuto da Adam Smith. Persone dello stesso commercio di rado si incontrano. A businessman, of the same merchant business field, rarely, very seldom they meet up. Anche per gaiezza e divertimenti, even just only for enjoying some free time. Ma le loro conversazioni finiscono sempre in cospirazione contro il pubblico, yeah. But because simply their conversation end up most of the time in conspiration, okay, against the public, to prevail on each other, o in qualche espediente per aumentare i prezzi, or seeking for some trick to increase the prices. I monopolisti, tenendo bassa l'offerta, riescono a vendere i loro beni a un prezzo molto superiore a quello naturale. I mean, this is old, this statement is ancient, like the planet Earth, of course. Who got the monopoly of a business of a certain item, technology, whatever, of course, can contain the price, okay, and of course the success in selling their products at a very is a much superior price than the real one, okay, than the proper price. Ragioni per lo studio dell'organizzazione industriale. May I open a parenthesis, my own insight? Viva, I love Apple, I love Sony. Please keep selling your product at higher price. Bravo. No way. Come on, are you serious? They totally deserve to sell their items at higher price, because you will discover when you start using their products. No way. And I am the one that I spend thousand and thousand euros in my life. So I know what I'm talking about. Ragioni per lo studio dell'organizzazione industriale. Sherman Act 1890, Section First, sezione prima, vieta i contratti, intese e cospirazioni volte a restringere il mercato. Section 2, sezione 2, rende illegale ogni tentativo di monopolizzare un mercato. I got lost, sorry guys. Antitrust e teoria dell'organizzazione industriale. I hate word. Ragioni per lo studio dell'organizzazione industriale. Le norme antitrust e la teoria dell'organizzazione industriale. Bisogno di una normativa antitrust già riconosciuta da Adam Smith. Persone dello stesso commercio di rado si incontrano, anche per gaiezza. I know that I'm reading again the same, but we are here to to learn Italian, so it is good to repeat, no problem. That's why I'm keeping. Persone dello stesso commercio di rado si incontrano, di rado we use in Italian rarely, ok, seldom. Anche per gaiezza e divertimento, anche per gaiezza is like joy, ok, joy, e divertimento is amusement, ma le loro conversazioni finiscono sempre in cospirazione contro il pubblico o in qualche espediente per aumentare i prezzi. I monopolisti, tenendo bassa l'offerta, keeping low the offer, riescono a vendere, are able to sell their products at a much superior price than than the proper price. This naturale, I don't know why sometimes they use this word. What do you mean rispetto a quello naturale? What do you mean? I'm trying to understand what means prezzo naturale, natural price. I totally understand that is an economic technical adjective used, but it's ridiculous in my opinion. Come on, I would use much use a quello effettivo, to that effective, to the real price. You know what? Natural. I don't understand. What is the... And this extract is from a University of Economy, guys. I mean, so this is not an article, a booklet that I got from any part of an internet. This is in the university. Are you joking? Okay, I surrender. It's me that maybe I'm too picky. Allora, Sherman Act 1890, 1890. Sezione prima, se vieta i contratti, intese e cospirazioni volte a restringere il mercato, of course. You know, is forbid the contracts, the accords and conspiration with the scope to restrict the market, no? To limit the market. Sezione 2, section 2, rende illegale ogni tentativo di monopolizzare un mercato. We already saw before. Rende illegale judge illegal any attempt to monopolize a market. Clayton Act 1914, 1914, volto a prevenire il monopolio prima della formazione. That is interesting. With the scope to prevent a situation and a scenario of monopolization before even forming, the formation of the market. Rende illegali pratiche che potrebbero ridurre in maniera sostanziale la competizione o volte a creare un monopolio. Okay? And judge illegal all those common practice that could reduce in a substantial way the competition or even volte a creare un monopolio, or even, of course, obviously, with the intent to create a monopoly. Okay? Federal Trade Commission, fondata quello stesso anno, la Commissione federale per il commercio, okay? Founded on 1914, in the same year of the Clayton Act. Alright, guys. Allora, guys, I have something to, but I will make also a separate video. I'm talking of I'm contrary and not with the ChatGPT, the technology with artificial intelligence. It's an amazing mean, and comparing with years ago, now really it reaches, and I'm leaving myself. It's incredible but still not all. You have to be very careful. But from the several I'm testing, I have to say there is Monica. Who's Monica? Okay, Monica. Monica is an extension of ChatGPT, Web ChatGPT. Okay, that I have installed in my Google bar. Okay, in my search bar. So every time I search, on the right side of the monitor, I have the column where I can find 1000. Okay, 1000, the Bing, the web chat GPT, and so, okay, Microsoft, Google, all kind of sources, okay. I will read one by one, okay, the most common and that most of the time are the most ridiculous, useless reverso context. Come on, guys. This is the way to translate. Please don't joke to the people. We need at least an understandable translation. But your translation are totally, really indecent. I'm sorry to say. Word reference, same. You cannot really relay totally on word reference, even only for simple words, simple sentence. Really. Then reverso context, please. Word reference, Prozee, Dizionario Glosb. Oh, mamma mia! This dictionary Glosb. It looks that it has been created from elementary students. BabLab, I really don't like. I never liked. There is a lot of people they are crazy for BabLab. I don't understand how. BabLab, come on. Reverso context again. Bing, Microsoft Bing is a good, in my opinion, is a good search engine, but it's vague. It's very vague. If I discover, now I'm testing already a couple of months, I was installed also AI, I forgot. That is a new, it's a new artificial intelligence search, search engine. But it block my. I cannot work anymore with my document. It's terrible. It's blocking my computer. Come on, it's too invasive. And even when I deactivated, I have deactivated, it's still giving troubles to my computer, to my work. So really, to be abolished totally. The only one that, guys, until now, from the all I'm testing, because I'm testing also in I, as a hobby, I like so much to create some graphic contents, more when I was young, but now I'm enjoying with the new prompts that they can auto generate. With this new AI software, they are absolutely amazing. But you have to be careful. I mean, and with Monica, I don't have to be careful. The Monica web chat GPT is fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Okay, allora, for example, I give you just an example. The last word, the last sentence I was searching, Google, no comment, Google Translator is another that I think is time to go retired. But anyway, thanks to Google, guys, I mean to say, he has been pioneering in this, so I don't want to, but if we need a real professional way of translation, like Wikipedia, solve perfectly to his duty in giving all the informations. absolutely interesting and incredible, well done. We need at the same time, so I can easily compare Monica ChatGPT with Wikipedia. Allora, cenni sulla storia. Ok, I wrote down in the Google template cenni sulla storia. Translation, notes on history. Ok, perfect. I have nothing to say. Let's say now let's go to I don't want even go to the reverse context and so and so, please. Really, I don't want even check. I want to show you only uh, allora, cenni sulla storia. Let's check first on the right here all the these where we can find all the web chat GPT, web access. So allora we can find the answer. Cenni sulla storia in inglese. Introduction 1. Cenni sulla storia translates to historical overview in English. No, I don't think so, because an overview is something much more wide and larger than cenni. Cenni is only a little bit. We are talking of bits of. It's not an overview. I cannot compare this. Number 2, context. The phrase is used in various contexts, such as understanding and appreciating the history of a place or exploring historical literature. No, I don't like. Number 3, translation variations. Depending on the context, it may also be translated as history overview. Again, I don't like history overview. It's not an overview. Or, wait, hold on, or historical insights. Okay, maybe I can accept this one. But even not, because notes can be insights, can be well done or too brief. I mean to say. So it's not really. Usage example. Number 4. Cenni sulla storia could be employed in discussing the historical background of a region, offering key insights into its past. I surrender to this. I totally approve this one. Absolutely yes. Summary. In essence, cenni sulla storia refers to a brief or a general account of history, providing an overview or insights into the historical aspect of a subject or place. No, not really. Source. Number 6, reverso context. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Go home. Here we are. Then there are so many others. But now let's go. We are already on 30 minutes. Allora, let's go now with what I want to explain why I'm very happy finally after years. Finally, I can say finally the computer can really translate. Seriously. Monica, allora, cenni sulla storia. It gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 insights, okay, and brief explanation about that. From this, I can source the one inherent to the topic that I'm really reading. Okay, in this case, I'm in the economy. Okay. Allora, I really like how it starts all the time. And I checked, I never found a faulty translation in the first 2 lines of Monica. I set it as default. The term cenni sulla storia is an Italian phrase that translates to notes on history. And when, believe me, guys, when Monica say this, it's true, it's real. I never, in 2 months, I'm using every day, hours and hours a day. I never got a false signal from that. It's exactly what he say. It is a broad term that can refer to a wide range of historical topics, from general overviews of world history to specific studies of particular time periods or events. You see, that's the difference between Monica and the others. She's saying me, look, this is a term that have a lot of meaning and fields involved, but can be historical topic, can be both general overviews or specific studies of particular time periods or even events. That sounds much more professional to me. I don't know to you, but it's another story. Now let's seek for what I'm reading about. In the context of literature. Ok, Cenni sulla storia might refer to a historical novel or non-fiction book that provides an account of past events. It will open, Monica, all the time, open to you a world, a window on the on the culture. It's fantastic. I don't say that being is less, because being also, I have to say, it helps a lot to wide open your sightings, you know. But Monica is incredible. Monica looks like really is reading in your mind what you are looking for. It's fantastic. I feel really at easy with this chat GPT. It's amazing, and he's using the new algorithm, the GPT-4. Okay. In the context of Chinese philosophy might refer to a historical novel or non-fiction book that provides an account of past events. For example, the Italian writer Alessandro Manzoni novel, look at that. That's why I compared Monica to Wikipedia. It's amazing. While it's explaining to you the meaning, barely, suddenly it opened for you. You know, he linked to your mind to a huge a huge world of meanings. The Italian writer Alessandro Manzoni novel The Betrothed 1827 is an historical novel set in 17th century Italy that provides a detailed account of the social and political conditions of the time. Let's shift to next context. In the context of education, Cenni sulla storia might refer to a history textbook or course that provides an overview of historical events. For example, a high school history textbook might include a chapter on the history of the United States, providing an overview of the major events, and so and so and so. In the context of journalism, Cenni sulla storia might refer to a news article or documentary that provides an account of a recent historical event. For example, a news article might provide an account of a recent political election, providing an overview of the candidates. You know what I mean? That's the difference when you generalize, and you generalize but in a proficuo and in a useful way. I love this. I mean to say, Monica is still generalizing, but she's already going deep in the inside, referring to a candidate and the issue that were at stake. Come on, that's the way to really help somebody to understand reading even the most terrible, intricate novel. I've checked this one also with the Dante Alighieri, with Shakespeare, with the British literature. It's incredible. It's fantastic, fantastic. I I throw at Monica the most difficult ancient words in ancient languages, Sanskrit, my favorite, and so on. She never failed to give me exact and so satisfactory answers. Guys, believe me, I'm not my channel is not monetized, and I don't get anything from this. I don't really don't care, but I have to admit that even if I like to both traditional ways of playing music and also the digital ways of playing music, I like to traditional way of reading and enjoying culture, and also the digital way. I can say, guys, that really I found my proper companion for uh, for my insight and precise translation. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and see you next. Bye.